Hello, Leo, and welcome to Scouts Tarot, where curiosity and the divine combine. So this is the October 2021 reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising signs of Leo. So I pre-shuffled your cards, and this will be a 3-card spread. Energies going into October, throughout October, and into and towards November. So first, like right off the bat, Leo, there's a lot of fire already at the start, right? The King of Wands card is a sign of Leo because wands do represent like that fire energy, that passion, that's, inspiration that you may, give others as you're like charging through life, showcasing your ambition and all that jazz. So what I'm picking up here, coming out of September and going into October, is that the challenges that you experienced in September, and if you haven't seen that reading, I suggest, go back, check it out, see if it resonates, and then, scroll back this way to see your October reading, because the energies from September revolved a lot around trying to balance out like what it is that you wanted in your career, in your relationship, your business, family, whatever it is, a project you may have been working on, whatever impassioned project you may have been trying to get to, there was a lot that was holding you back, right? That you weren't able to take that step forward, or there was some hurdle you had to get over, something that was an anchor as you were trying to move forward, and it was slowing you down, if not fully stopping you. So yeah, you had like that devil energy, that something that's got you chained, right, and unable to move forward. And then the energy that led you into October was the 5 of Pentacles, and that was a lot about like that struggle and strife that we go through that in life, just being adults, trying to get stuff done, or being like a kid and just trying to figure out just what this new pandemic world is. And trying to make that work for you. So a lot of times you find yourself in a dark, or at least a difficult space. And it's like, oh my God, how do I get through this? And so the energy going from September and into October, again, is this King of Wands energy, right? And again, it's that fire energy. It's that passion that we bring to things. But this is a king energy. So this is more authoritative, right? This has like some leadership energy here where you may need to take charge in an area of your life that you're over that 5 of Pentacles energy. Like, you know what? I know it's tough, the struggle's real, but I'm not going to let this hold me back anymore. And I'm going to set myself up for success. And that the energy going into October is like, you're ready for change. You're ready to take charge. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to be like, you know what? I'm done with this. And I know what I want now, or at least I have an idea of what I want, whether, be a better student, a better coworker. You want to lead by the passions in your relationship. Like, you know what, instead of doing the same old, let's do something different, and something that, gets us up and moving, or gets us out of our comfort zone, and that you're making a choice to pick yourself up out of that devil energy and out of that 5 of Pentacles energy, so you can, move forward and embrace the things that make you happy. Which then brings us to the middle of the month, the energy throughout October, which is the Hermit card, major arcana, right? So the Hermit card, as I describe it, this is like the Gandalf card, right? If you're a fan. So in the Fellowship of the Ring, there's a point where Gandalf needs to get the hell out of Dodge. He needs to go do some research. He needs to go figure some stuff out. So he goes all the way to Gondor, all the way to the White City, and you see him, deep in the library, just trying to figure out like what in the madness is going on. And so this is the kind of energy that I'm picking up for you for October. It's now that you want to do something different, you want to change it up, you want to take charge in your life, you want to aspire to something that aligns with your values or your wants out of life, that you may need to take yourself out of the situation, right? Like Gandalf took himself out of the movie, out of the book. And everything else was going on around in Middle Earth, he was like, no, I got some work to do first before I know exactly what I'm dealing with here. So that's the energy that I'm picking up for you. Is like, now that you know what you want, it's time to take a step back and review, right? Okay, so if you want to be, a better impassioned romantic partner for your partner, that maybe it's like, okay, well, what are the things that they're interested in, and what are the things that I'm interested in, and how can we align that? Like if we're both into, outdoorsy stuff, but I'm afraid of heights, and they're really into like running, or whatever it is, like whatever the thing is, it's like, okay, so how can we combine those things? Like what is that work, right? That maybe not necessarily work, but what is that information that you need? And sometimes that does mean you taking a step back. Like maybe you're not going to hang out this month, maybe, or at least you pull back a little bit. Maybe you will maybe not as outgoing, right? Like you may need some time to just like stay home and reflect, which not a bad thing if you look at the energy going into November, which is the World card. And the World card does represent like perfection, right? It's the completion of a cycle, but it's only complete because you're starting anew, right? There's something that comes after, like the world keeps going round, right? It's going to turn again. So as it completes its cycle, a new one starts. So if you're able to, take charge and make a choice in terms of like what inspires you, what you want to aspire to, the passions that drive you, and move forward, like take that action, make that move, and be that authoritative person in your life, versus just waiting for something to happen, waiting for someone to come out and lend a hand or support you or lead you, direct you. You're like, no, I'm going to do that myself. And you take that time to be like, okay, so what do I want this to look like? What are you feeding into this new goal of yours, right? If you want to be a better student, so what does that look like? Setting more time aside? Is it getting extra help? Is it paying better attention in class? Like what does that look like, right? It gets you to the World card. So yes, now that you've done that work, you're now at this place of like, I got that A on that test, right? I finished that project at work. My partner and I, we went and did, a hike, and they got to run and up on the cliff, and I stayed on below, and I met them at the end, or whatever it is, right? Like just something that the goal that you set, you can get there, right? And you'll feel like, wow, I like the amount of happiness and joy and fulfillment that we can get from completing a task that we set for ourselves, completing a journey that we started and set before ourselves, is almost overwhelming, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I did it. And then at the same time, you're like, okay, if I can do all this, what else can I do, right? The end of a cycle and the start of another one. So let's take on, what else? What's next? And so I'm going to shift now to the Oracle of the Seven Energies deck to get some energetic advice for you, Leo, with that King of Wands energy, because we want to get to this World card. We want to get to this perfection energy, that fulfillment, that like, oh my God, we did it, let's go. Like this is the victory ribbon, the Rocky at the top of the stairs energy, like you did it, right? But now that Rocky's at the top of the stairs, he's not actually done, is he? He's like, oh, right, the fight, or whatever it is. I'm going to say right now, I've never seen Rocky. I'm just making an assumption that stairs scene, that him climbing the steps, is not like the end of the movie, but I could be terribly wrong. But yeah, so let's get some spiritual advice for the King of Wands energy. Let's take charge, take a step, take a jump, lead by your passions, lead by follow that which inspires you and what you want to aspire to. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What energetic advice do we have for Leo, celestial divine? You're looking for one card, please. Solo uno for dear sweet Leo. If we could get one card. Okay, all right, 2 cards it is. It's all right, we're not upset about it. All right, so we have bearing fruit and birds of a feather. All right, so let's start with bearing fruit, which is number 12. Come on, there we go. So bearing fruit represents the results of hard work on ideas or consistent thoughts manifesting into form, which King of Wands is a manifestation energy, right? Similar to like in the world as well, similar to like that manifestation of taking something and turning it into something better, or taking nothing and turning it into something, right? It represents the relationship between the external world and the internal world of feelings and beliefs. Holy smokes. Yeah, definitely. Right. because we were talking about, like, you know, the energy between the King of Wands and the Hermit. It's, you are acknowledging that what ignites you, which you would like to align with. Say that 5 times fast. All right, my bad, Leo. Got excited, touched my my earphone, which stops the recording on my phone. Happens to the best of us, right? Okay, so we were talking about the bearing fruit Oracle of the 7 Energies card in the King of Wands energy, about that manifesting, right? With the bearing fruit card, a lot of it is also about what is the fruit that you want to pick, right? And is there a fruit on that tree that you're like, that's not really, that looks a little rotten, or that's not as ripe as it could be, you know? So when you're trying to you know, figure out what it is that inspires you, or that which, you know, what you want to embody in either a relationship or at work, is that making sure that you're recognizing, you know, what it is that you want to manifest. Because after all the struggle and strife and the issues over the summer and going through September, you're at a point now where you get to decide what it is you get to embody, right? You know, it may not necessarily come to fruition in October, but you're setting yourself up, right? You're planting the roots of this tree. And you want to make sure is that as you're, you know, you're digging the dirt and you're getting the compost or whatever it is, and you're figuring how much water do you need to put down, that when that fruit starts to come to bear, that you recognize, like, no, this is the apple, or, you know, maybe not this one, not that one doesn't taste that, you know, that ripe, and things like that. Is, you know, you just want to pay attention that as you're going through and figuring out that which aligns with your values, and that, you know, what makes you want to take that step and leap into action and embody, you know, the energies you want to represent in a relationship or at work with family or whatever it might be, that you're taking the time to examine, like, what is that fruit? What is it that you want to manifest? So you know, you make sure that you're aligning with, you know, what feels good for you. So you're not like manifesting, like, I want to be a good student, but like you hate that class. Like, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're not manifesting what serves you. And then we have the Birds of a Feather card. So Birds of a Feather, real quick, it's about sharing, right? Community, a sense of belonging. It's a fellowship with like-hearted people, and understanding the concept of we before me, which may seem like it contradicts with the Hermit card, again, because this is the energy from, you know, out of September into October, and Hermit card is that energy throughout October. Is that as you take this step back, or before you take that step back, is recognizing, like, how do you feel when you're with others? Like, who is your group, your people, right? Gandalf was forming that fellowship, right? When he took that step back to go and do research, he left people behind, but he also came back to his people, right? Like, you see with the World card, like, this figure isn't alone on this card, right? It has others with them. So it's just taking, how I'm reading it is like, as you're manifesting and thinking about what it is that you know, want to change or push forward, take control of, that you're remembering, like, oh yeah, I do enjoy being with those, you know, if the class you actually want to succeed in is art and not, you know, social studies, then don't push to be a better student in social studies. If, you know, I mean, you should have, like, you out, like, if you failing, you should probably do something about it. But if you know what you know bears fruit for you, if you know what makes you happy, then yeah, try to manifest better experiences in that space. If you know what makes you happy in your relationship, and if it's not running a 10K but actually like having a movie night, then, you know, recognize how that makes you feel. What energies, you know, like reflect the, maybe not reflect, but what energies in your life allow you to feel happy, appreciated, fulfilled, satisfied. Because there are things that we're like, yeah, that was nice, that was fun, like, yeah, I walks on the beach, that's great, love it, but actually I really prefer walks, you know, through a forest. Like that, wow, like that is just like new, like, breath into me. And as you're discovering, you know, that what makes you feel good in a community sense, you can then lean into the Hermit energy of like, okay, now that I know what makes me feel good, how do I like make this grow? How do I build my fellowship out? which, as Gandalf would later discover, he did indeed join his fellowship. So, oh, geez, I didn't even say anything. All right, so Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck has delivered upon us our single card to explain the Hermit energy going throughout October, and that is the Sacred Union card. So that is, yes, romance and all that jazz, but it's also like partnership, really, right? That coming together energy. So I just want to open the book so I can be as clear as I can be. So the Sacred Union, again, yeah, partnership, romance, but it's all about like beautiful, connections, right? It's like, oh, wow, just that alignment of the heart, that alignment of the passions. Know that you're never alone on your path, right? Like, even though when you're embodying the Hermit energy and you're taking that time to be alone, to reflect, to study, to recollect just what it is that you're hoping to manifest. Now that you know when you want to, like, what you want to do, the Hermit card allows you the time to think it over and really like plan out, like, okay, what is it that I need to do? Is that in the end, like, you're doing this not just for you, right? That as you're focusing in on that which you want to embody, or that what makes you feel good, that the divine is going to match that for you, right? It's like, okay, so even though like you may not be super interested in social studies, we're just going to lean into this example. We feel that energy that you're directing towards art, and we're going to allow you an opportunity to express your artistic nature in your social studies class, right? Figure out ways to pair up, that not just the energy of, what you're passionate about, which, may need work, social studies, but also the divine universe will like, well, let's make sure that we're aligning on everything then, right? Like, if art is the thing, then what can we do with that energy? How else can we redirect it so it does feel like it's coming together, that it is a connection, and, more fulfilling, more satisfying? Because again, as we lead into the World card, it is about completion, perfection. We're not trying to solve one thing. Like, if you can fix your relationship, no, if you can find that deeper connection in your relationship where you and your partner, like, wow, that was it, that, the walk by the lake made me feel like we were walking by the ocean, and it also felt like we were in the forest. Like, that's perfect. That's that sacred union, and you feel complete, right? Like that's how I'm feeling this journey. And now we're going to pull our last card, which is the Super Attractor deck, which allows just a bit of advice for you, Leo, as we finish out October and we head into November with this world energy. I am in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for Leo, celestial divine? Can we get one card of advice for the dear sweet Leos? We're looking for one card, por favor. One card. Solo uno. Okay, there it is. Throwing itself down at us. All right. Ooh, this is a paragraph. Here we go. Buckle up. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit in the spirit of what? The world. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Oh my God. You can't make this up, Leo. You can't make it up. Wow. This is just overall fantastic. It's all the dang cards. So we are trying to manifest some beautiful things in October, Leo. Like, as you come out of September and you're leaving behind that struggle from the summer, that low energy, that like either disappointment, or like you invested a bunch of energy and then it kind of like blew up in your face and you're like, I don't know if I can really do this again. The King of Wands energy is like, you know what? How about we do it this way? And we're going to actually take it. We're going to jump for it. We're going to, pick up that wand and we're going to manifest that which, what we want, what best aligns for us, with us, what guides us forward, what allows our relationship to be better, which allows our experience at school to be better, what allows our time at work to be more fulfilling. Whatever that is for you, Leo, when you take that jump, you will be able to recognize and decide as you go through this hermit energy that fruit that bears, the most, taste and flavor for you, right? The most sustenance for you, because you're remembering and honing in on that fellowship energy, right? That community energy, that collaborative energy. Because, in the end, even if you're walking alone, you're still trying to find that with which I'm going to figure out this sentence, I swear. That sacred union, that sacred connection, that divine partnership, whether it's with another person, with the situation that you're in, the job that you work, you're going to find that which just like makes your heart flutter, makes your spirit soar. And as you're doing that, as you're manifesting that energy, the universe is going to match you, right? It's going to be like, oh, got it. This is what it is. That sacred union energy. All right, boys, roll it in. This is what she's calling for. You know what it is? You know what I mean? Of trying to you put a call in and the universe will answer. And as you're doing this, you will feel that like I said, your spirit soaring above and beyond, right? Because the world is all about that completion, but it's all about starting anew. And so as you find that partnership, as you make that connection, as you're manifesting that which helps you grow, the universe will match it and you'll be ready for the next. And you just keep going and going and going. Yeah, this was pretty intense, Leo, but I hope that this resonated. Again, this is your October 2021 reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and also comment on the video as well if you feel so inclined to share what this journey is like for you, because I'm very curious. This is just the way this is manifesting and connecting, the sacred union between the world and manifesting that which helps your spirit grow and make you a happier, stronger, more fulfilled, spiritual person on this 4D plane, 3D, whatever. The more interested I am in seeing how this turns out for you all. But I hope that resonated as always, and I'll see you in November.